46 years.
3 beloved isles.
1 beloved station, Radio Cayman.
The voice.
The heart.
The soul of the Cayman Islands.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies. Call them at 949-6211. And Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Business Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter. Radio Cayman's Business Buzz. Here's your host, Anita Khan.
Good morning to our listeners and our YouTube viewers. Welcome to another edition of Radio Cayman's Business Buzz. We'll have our usual two segments this morning. In this first segment, we'll take a look at the food truck industry and in particular, Marv's Kitchen. After the 8 o'clock news, weather report and traffic, we will have several guests in studio to discuss May is International Internal Audit Awareness Month. He's hoping you'll stay with us and enjoy both segments. However, if you do have to go, you can always view the buzz on YouTube. In the studio, as we speak, in the studio, we have co-owner Alex Cohen and chef co-owner Ernestus Vitunskas of Marv's Kitchen. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to have you in the studio this morning. I see only one person has coffee, so I guess the other person does not partake in the caffeine routine.
Well, I do. I just take a cold shower in the morning.
Good morning again, guys. And that was the voice of chef co-owner Ernestus Vitunskas. Did I get your name correctly, Ernie?
Yes.
And I can call you Ernie. I have permission.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Okay. Now, Chef Ernie or Alex, give us a brief history of Marv's Kitchen and how it came about.
Yeah, so we initially were thinking of doing a fish and chips business. Mm-hmm. So Marv's was actually going to be a fish and chips business. It was actually me and my dad initially. We purchased the trailer, but then, of course, the pandemic came. And so, that kind of delayed us a bit. And actually, it made us think, should we sell the trailer at that point? Is there any point of holding on to a trailer? We thought there was, so we held on to the trailer throughout the pandemic. And then our other co-owner, Alex, he's another Alex.
If you're listening, good morning, Alex. The other Alex.
Yeah, so he reached out to me and said, what are you doing with your trailer? And I said, well, I'm thinking about selling it. And he said, no, I've got a good chef that would really want to work on this trailer and help us out. And so at that time, of course, I didn't have a chef, so we were like, that's perfect. So we met with Ernie over here, and Ernie comes from a great chefing background. He's worked in many restaurants over the years, and at the time he was a head chef at his other establishment there, and so basically had a good meeting with Ernie, and that was it. And we went on. We decided to hold on to the food truck, name it Marv's Kitchen. It was actually named Marv's Kitchen after a close friend who passed away a few years ago. So we did. He did want to do something with a food truck, and we said, well, let's name it after him and try and do food that he might actually like and enjoy. So we came up with the idea of doing gourmet sandwiches as our kind of main primary food.
So, Alex, when you say trailer, I'm just thinking about a trailer. But we're talking about the entire truck and trailer. So the truck sits on a trailer, right?
Yeah, so it's actually a trailer. So it's technically a trailer. So it does get pulled by, we do have a truck. So it does get pulled by a truck. So it technically is a trailer, but you won't believe it when you walk in there, how big and spacey it does feel.
A tiny house.
It does, yeah, exactly.
The tiny house movement.
Exactly. Yeah. So we've set up the equipment so that it is actually comfortable to work in. It may look small from the outside, but Ernie will tell you when you go into that thing, you can get 3 people working comfortably in there.
And Ernie, you're a tall guy.
Oh, yeah. Only 6'3".
Only 6'3", okay. Now, the food truck business is not just about passion for food. It's a combination of various elements that make it work. Talk to us about time management, food prep, marketing, and most importantly, making people happy with your product?
Well, so food truck is the same like any restaurant, to be honest, on a smaller scale. Everything the same. It goes food management, staff management. We do have couple of extra things to worry about, like generator, water supply, and so on. But yeah, otherwise it's just like any little restaurant, to be honest, that can move.
Now, how important is food preparation? And that's including packaging and the menu development, especially for you guys.
Very important. It's quite challenging at the moment to get a good packaging due to past of COVID, and everything is prices all rising, and it's quite hard. But we do try to keep our packaging very simple, environment friendly, and your packaging should be a part of your what is the name?
Your branding.
Like branding, yeah.
Now, I'm excited because I saw your photo of the food truck or the trailer, as Alex says, on Facebook, and I said, Susan, did I tell you, Susan? Yeah. That's how you guys came into the studio, right?
Yep, correct.
Because we saw it, and Susan contacted you.
Yep.
And well, of course, on the Business Buzz, we love to promote small businesses, and that's our job, to get you here to promote your business, so that you can not only increase sales but keep your customers happy as well, and keep us happy. Now, with the food truck being on, where's your location, by the way?
So at the moment we're located by Public Beach.
Public Beach, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nearby Kimpton, but we do move to north side on public holidays as well.
Okay, and hopefully you'll be in Savannah.
Hopefully
at some
in the
point.
future.
Yeah. I can't wait for that.
Yep.
Now, how would you describe the type of food that's being served at Marv's Kitchen on your truck?
So at the moment we our main focus is the all around the world theme sandwiches that are named after each country that we inspired with. So let's say we go Islander, Cubano, Argentinian. They all have names by their origin, let's say. They all have a nice gourmet finish to them. So, and yeah, we do. We use a lot of local produce. We actually prioritize local produce before we go to supermarkets or any wholesales and buy imported stuff.
Yeah, so Ernie's, he is always at the farmer's market by the cricket field there. Every week he's posting videos. He's telling us, I'm at the farmer's market getting some fresh local produce. So we do have a lot of contact with the local farmers, and we pride ourselves in really using local produce. We like to every chance we get, we will use local farmers and their produce. And also, of course, Ernie, he makes every single sauce that goes into these sandwiches. Anything that we can make that is home, that can possibly be made in that trailer, is actually made in the trailer with local produce.
Yum. Oh my goodness. So you can actually go farm to table, you say, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You think at some point, Alex, you're going to have your own little backyard farming somewhere?
We actually hope so. We were thinking of that in another location, but we were thinking of getting some nice planters out there, planting some nice maybe a little herb garden, something like that, where we can actually use our own produce at that point.
Okay. Besides going to the farmers market, do you source some other local farmers, I guess? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Now, do you offer any healthy vegan options for people like myself who do not partake in meat? I'm a pescatarian.
So to start with, every single sandwich that we offer can be turned into vegan, vegetarian option.
Okay.
And we do have two options on the menu that are designed to be vegetarian vegan. So it's one of them is called Veggie Traveler, which is portobello mushroom, blue cheese, homemade basil pesto, and arugula. And the next one is called Oriental, which is falafel wrap with our garlic aioli, cucumber, avocado, and lettuce.
Yum.
Yep.
You guys are getting me hungry.
It's
I'm
really
sorry.
good. Both are very good.
The Oriental has been
Popular.
very popular, yeah.
I guess it's the attraction of the avocado.
Probably.
Yeah.
And it's a wrap, you said, right?
It's a wrap,
It's a
yeah.
wrap, okay. What sort is it? What sort of wrap? Is it like a...
So we do normally offer it with a spinach wrap.
Okay, spinach wrap.
Yeah.
Now, do you offer gluten-free?
Not
At this
at the
time?
moment,
Not
no.
more, okay.
For gluten-free options, we do offer, you can take a sandwich ingredients and we just build the salads.
Okay.
Because we have side salad as the option. We have 3 types of salads that we can offer. So it's chickpea salad, chef salad, and Caesar salad. So any of these salads could be used to make up a gluten-free sandwich or salad.
Okay, now, if you're just joining us, you're listening to the Business Buzz. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're speaking to the owners and co-owners of Marv's Kitchen. We've got co-owner Alex Cohen and co-owner Chef Ernestus Vitunskas, and they're Marv's Kitchen. It's a food truck on the public beach.
Yep,
So
yep.
you know where to go grab your next, you do breakfast and lunch.
Yep.
No dinner.
Not
yet.
at the moment. No.
Not yet. Okay. All right. That's further on. Now, what are some of the weekly offerings that are popular at Marv's Kitchen?
So we always, every week we have a special board. At the moment, for the last couple of weeks, we've been having a Cayman fish fry, actually. Which one is served fried mahi, fritter, breadfruit, and spicy escovitch. So it has been very popular for tourists and local people as well. Other popular sandwiches, any other popular options for veggie traveler, Oriental, as I mentioned, they're very popular. The Islander sandwich, which is jerk chicken, caramelized onions, spicy mayonnaise, and cheddar cheese. So that one has been very popular around local people.
What's it called again? Islander?
The Islander.
The Islander.
Yeah. I guess it's a jerk chicken during the game.
The Islander. Susan, you've got to try that.
We also do the an escovitch fish sandwich. So we don't just do it as a fish fry.
Yeah.
The fish fry is the special that we have going on now, but we actually put the fish fry or the escovitch fish in a sandwich, and it
That's
is
filet.
absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
So it's actually local snapper that we use in this one.
Yeah.
And the chef here, Ernie, of course, he makes his own escovitch from scratch, and it is absolutely incredible. I had it the other day, and it is really good. So it's I don't believe any other restaurant on island. I don't know, but I've never had an escovitch fish sandwich in any other restaurant here. And Ernie does his all his sauces and everything he uses in it. It's all homemade.
I've tried fish in about every restaurant I've been to because that's all I'll eat now. So I've never had a snapper in a sandwich.
Yeah.
No. It's either cod or some pollock or something, some weird fish, or swahi, which I can't stand. So having snapper in a sandwich, that's awesome. That's awesome. Before we take a break, let's look at kids. What do you have for children? Because they're finicky eaters.
So yeah, for children we have regular chicken tenders, obviously, because that's what kids likes.
That's all
Chicken
they eat.
tenders and fries, hot dogs. We do have a lovely carrot cake baked by one of the local ladies.
So you serve dessert.
So we have one dessert at the moment, yeah.
Okay. I've never had a food truck serve me dessert.
Well, we're trying to introduce it.
That's great.
It's taking its time, but yeah, we hope that's going to kick off.
And it's carrot cake.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
And it is really good. I had it the other day
really
again,
good.
and it is amazing. Very good. It's
Just
made
count.
by... Yeah, so it's made by a local lady here. I don't know her name. Ernie knows her very well.
Yeah.
But she bakes the carrot cake for us. We bring it into the food truck, and of course we're serving it up. Nice
you guys are
local
gourmet
carrot
for
cake.
real. I love it.
Yep.
We're going to take a quick break. Want to say thanks to our sponsors this morning, Cayman Insurance Center and Cayman Medical Supplies. Just a reminder, there's also Brack Medical Supplies now open in Cayman Brack. We're speaking with co-owner Alex Cohen and co-owner chef Ernestus Witunskas of Marv's Kitchen.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
The past half-century have offered Cayman a significant growth spurt. The 1950s were a launchpad year, with a number of hotels opening as tourism began to increase. In 1953, an airfield was opened in Grand Cayman, eventually replacing the seaplane service which had operated since the 1940s. Also in 1953, the Georgetown Hospital was opened and Barclays Bank, the first commercial bank, started doing business here. A few years later, in 1956, the weather station at Owen Roberts International Airport on Grand Cayman began operation. And then in 1959, Cayman received its first written constitution, which granted women the right to vote. And the Cayman Islands ceased to be a dependency of Jamaica.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
And for 45 years, we have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Oh gosh.
Don't let the stress of taking care of loved ones get you down.
Home care, now made easier with Cayman Medical Supplies. 100% Caymanian owned. Cayman Medical Supplies now stocks a wide range of home care supplies. Hospital beds, all types of wheelchairs, including beach access wheelchairs, lifts, commodes, shower chairs, walkers, Curad brand orthopedic supplies. Free blood glucose monitors with the purchase of 1 pack of test strips, blue underpads, and a whole lot more.
Need home care convenience? Drop by Cayman Medical Supplies at 93 Smith Road, Windward Center, or call 949-6211. Free delivery.
Open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Still delivering island-wide for your convenience.
This is a CUC advisory. Due to a required pole replacement, customers on Hurst Road in Newlands from the junction with J. Hubert Drive north to the Coast Guard headquarters, including all of North Sound Estate and all side roads, will experience interruption to their electrical service on Wednesday, May 4th, between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. For more information, please contact CUC's customer service team at 949-5200 or email at service@cuc.ky. Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
It's 10 minutes until 8 o'clock. Good morning. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. This is our first segment of the Buzz this morning, and we're speaking with our co-owner, Alex Cohen, co-owner and head chef, Ernestus Vitunskas of Marv's Kitchen. And Marv's Kitchen is a food truck selling awesome gourmet, all around the world sandwiches for breakfast and lunch. And we've been hearing all about it from Alex and Ernestus. And I shortened his name to Ernie. So do you guys deliver? Do delivery?
We don't deliver ourselves, but
Okay.
we use Bento as a delivery service.
Okay, Bento. Okay.
Yeah.
So I can hit up Bento and have my food delivered to me.
Yep, we're on Bento there, so you'll be able to see us. You can either search Marv's Kitchen on Bento, or you can just go down the line. You'll see us on there.
Okay. Now, are there any other new items that you'll be rolling out soon on your menu?
So we do work on a couple of items to come in next weeks. One of them will be smoothies and milkshakes for kids. Yeah, and we do have a couple of sandwiches lined up. Maybe a Philly cheesesteak and a pulled pork sandwich.
Okay.
These are a bit more greasy and not that healthy, like.
And people want those, right?
And people want
There's a
those.
demand for greasy stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious stuff. How about po' boy sandwich?
Po' boy sandwich. Yeah, we have that one on the menu as well.
Okay. Louisiana po' boy.
Yeah, so we have the po' boy. We use, Ernie can describe it a little bit more, but we use the a kind of a battered fried shrimp.
Tempura fried shrimp
Tempura
with
fried.
remoulade sauce, pickles, and lettuce and tomato.
Yep.
Where has Marv Kitchen been all my life? Seriously.
It was growing.
Okay, so we know you offer carrot cake for dessert, and there's more coming. We're looking for that. Now, how important is the pricing when operating a food truck business?
Very important, because we did learn that from the beginning. We didn't know how expensive could it be generating power and moving trailer back and forth. So that is part of your pricing of the food as well. Staffing and packaging, everything is quite pricey at the moment. So that involves, and also we have daily targets where what we have to be selling to just survive.
Now, the good thing about it is you don't have overheads as a regular restaurant, even a small restaurant.
That's the best part of it.
The best part.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have to. I think that's a huge plus with a food truck or a food trailer, is that you're not paying. Technically, I mean, some people I know do pay a fee, but you're not paying rent. You're not paying anything, crazy overheads like rent nowadays, as we all know. In a commercial building, rent is not cheap. And so that is a huge plus for having a food truck, is that those overheads are really cut down.
Are you thinking about, because you're off grid really?
Yeah.
Technically, right?
Yeah.
How about something like solar system, solar panels?
So we did think,
Okay.
we did look into solar. That is a possibility, but of course that takes some sort of upfront investment for that. So we are building towards solar. We would love to go solar. I think we want to be as energy efficient as possible. At the moment, we're using a very efficient generator, which runs off of propane gas. And so we are trying to get as energy efficient as possible. I think solar would be the next step.
Okay. Now, besides offering gourmet sandwiches from all around the world, let me shoot this at Ernie. if there's a company or any business that would like to have an event, or even an individual, you're hosting a special event, do you offer catering?
Yes, we do. We have done a couple of caterings already, and we got a few coming up in next couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
But we do offer catering, and you can contact us at info@mervskitchen.com, or just call us 328-5662 for more information.
And you have a website as well as you're on Instagram and
yes,
Facebook.
Also Facebook, Instagram, and we have a website, mervskitchen.com, where you can find our menu, contact details, and the rest of the...
Okay, and you can find Marv's Kitchen, the food truck at Public Beach.
Yeah, correct.
And what time are you guys there? I mean, I know you do breakfast and lunch, but how late are you there? What time are you there? What time you start?
So we start at 9 a.m. at the moment, and we there till 5.
Oh, so you can do early dinner for seniors like myself.
And if we do have people, coming past 5, we will open past 5 too. I mean, we're not. It's not always. We sometimes even open before 9. So it varies, but that's kind of the times we tell people, 9 to 5. But that varies quite a bit.
Weekends we open at 8.
Okay. Now, moving forward, what can we look forward to from Marv's Kitchen besides more dessert?
Probably another location to start with.
Okay.
I'm very ambitious.
Going back to just one sec. Going back to catering.
Yeah.
So you bring I'm trying to visualize this. You bring the truck to the location.
Yes. Correct.
Okay.
So we've done, for the catering, we've done a wedding already before.
Okay.
So we've done a wedding. We're also at a few events. We are confirmed at the auto show, which is coming up. So that's our next confirmed event. And we're also confirmed at a few other events, but the next one will be the auto show. We bring the trailer actually to the event. Whether the event be public or private, we will do any event. You can do even birthday parties, anything like that.
Kids
we will bring the
love that.
trailer. Exactly. We will bring the trailer to you. We can do, we can customize a menu for you. So we can have a special menu for any of these events. All you have to do is just email info@mervskitchen.com. Or just give Chef Ernie here a call, and we can get you guys sorted for sure.
And that's 328-5662.
Yeah, correct.
Make sure you have the number locked in. I'm going back to that question. Sorry about that. Moving forward, what can we look forward to?
So like mentioned before, we go, in the near future we're gonna have some milkshakes and smoothies. Obviously, weekly specials. That's never gonna stop, I guess. And we just keep updating our menus with new sandwiches, new countries coming along on our menu.
Some Caribbean countries as well. Do you have any Caribbean country? Well, besides Cayman.
I think right now we only have
the island that like generalized.
It's more of a more of the Caribbean, but that's a good point that we could probably introduce, and I'm sure we're going to be looking to that in the future. Is other countries, and we look at their cuisine and try to make a sandwich from what they what they eat in their countries.
I mean, you have a lot of expats here, from 139 different countries. Is that it?
Exactly.
So you can look at somebody wants something from St. Vincent. A St. Vincentian sandwich.
Exactly, and
I'm not sure what they have, but pretty sure they have something. Right?
And that's why we came up with the idea of all around the world kind of sandwiches, because Cayman is such a diverse culture. We have so many people here from so many different countries. People always like to say we're a melting pot here, and so basically, that's why we like to introduce new sandwiches. I think one of the ones that we have in mind, as Ernie was saying, was the cheesesteak, but also we're looking into a Mexican variety type of sandwich. So we're really trying to pull from all different cultures.
Well, I'd like to say congratulations on the opening of Marv's Kitchen, the food truck located at Public Beach. Congratulations to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to great things from Marv's Kitchen. I'm going to try it out because I need good food. So congratulations and thank you for coming to the studio this morning. You've been listening to The Business Buzz. It's our first segment, and you just heard from co-owner of Marv's Kitchen, Alex Cohen, and co-owner head chef, Ernestas Vitunskas. Congratulations, guys. Taking a quick break, bring you the news, traffic, and just about everything else. And as we come back, we will continue with our second segment.
Thank you, Anita. And studio time now by Foster's is 8 o'clock.
When you're on the go, the experienced team at Foster's Pharmacy are here to help. Drop off your prescription while you shop or WhatsApp us and we'll prepare it, ready for your arrival.
Whether you need prescription or over-the-counter medications, blood glucose testing, or advice on vitamins and supplements, we're here early in the morning to late at night. Both of our locations at our Camana Bay and airport stores are open 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., Monday to Saturday.
For more info, visit fosters.ky/pharmacy. Foster's Pharmacy. Better health because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With a look at this morning's news, I'm Dion Anglin. The Cayman Islands government, through the Ministry of Infrastructure, announces advisory firm Grant Thornton Specialist Services has been contracted to undertake a formal feasibility study into the modernization of the island's submarine cable infrastructure. This follows a selection exercise initiated in December of 2021, which attracted extensive international interest from several professional services and specialist submarine cable consultancies. It also builds on extensive industry and stakeholder consultations conducted by the government over the past 18 months. The feasibility study, to be prepared by subsea systems experts Pioneer Consulting, will be used to guide government's decision-making around moving forward with a major submarine cable infrastructure investment project. An invitation-only affair for recipients of the Certificate and Badge of Honor. Radio Cayman's April Cummings has more.
Certificate and Badge of Honor awardees announced in the New Year's Honors List in January will be receiving their awards for meritorious services rendered during the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as for services to financial services, the Public Service Pensions Board, broadcasting media, and charitable organizations. Hosted by His Excellency Governor Martin Roper at Government House, the event will be invitation only. Participants will include the Certificate Honor awardees, Premier the Honorable Wayne Panton, and Deputy Governor the Honorable Franz Manderson, along with Deputy Premier the Honorable Chris Saunders, government ministers, parliamentary secretaries, members of Parliament, and senior government officials and invitees. We will be carrying the proceedings live on Breeze 105.3 FM, starting at 6 p.m. on Thursday evening. April Cummings, Radio Cayman News.
In other local news, 3 men who were arrested last week have now been formally charged in relation to burglary and criminal trespass. Police say the 19-year-old man of West Bay who was arrested on Thursday, April 28th, had been formally charged with 2 counts of burglary. Also, the 33-year-old man of Georgetown who was arrested last Thursday as well has been formally charged with 2 counts of burglary. Police say these 2 men are also the subjects of several additional matters which remain under investigation. However, they say the other man, a 45-year-old of Georgetown, who was arrested on Wednesday, May 27th, has been formally charged with criminal trespass. All 3 men appeared in court yesterday. Now for a look at news from around the Caribbean, here's Carib Update's Wendy Chateau.
The Premier of the British Virgin Islands is demanding his immediate release from U.S. custody, arguing he's immune from prosecution on cocaine smuggling charges because he is the elected constitutional head of government of the British Overseas Territory. An attorney for Andrew Foy made the request in a filing with Miami Federal Court. Foy, 51, was arrested last week during a U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration sting as he was preparing to board a private jet in Miami. According to a criminal complaint, Foy and Olivine Maynard, his ports director, had been at the airport to meet who they thought were Mexican drug traffickers, but in reality were undercover DEA agents. The shock arrest roiled the British Virgin Islands, where Foy was already facing allegations of widespread corruption and seemed to bolster calls to suspend the Constitution for 2 years to clean up government and return to home rule by officials from London. Foy's attorney declined to comment and in her 2-page filing didn't provide details about her client's immunity claim. But any battle to assert immunity is likely to face numerous obstacles, according to some reports.
And now for a look at news from around the world, here's the BBC.
Health officials in Iran say at least 8 people have died of alcohol poisoning in the southern city of Bandar Abbas. More than 50 others are being treated for serious side effects. Drinking or producing alcohol is illegal in Iran under Sharia law. 8 people have been arrested. The killer of a gay man has been sent to prison in Australia more than 30 years after carrying out the crime. The police initially treated the death of Scott Johnson as suicide. From Sydney, here's Phil Mercer.
For more than 3 decades, Scott White got away with murder. He was finally arrested in Sydney in 2020 after his former wife told the police he'd confessed. He later pleaded guilty. Scott Johnson's body was found at the bottom of a 60-metre cliff in Australia's biggest city. His siblings had always believed his death was a gay hate crime and offered a reward to catch his killer. After Scott White was jailed for at least 8 years and 3 months, they said they'd achieved fairness and dignity for their brother.
That'll take us out of Radio Cayman's 8 o'clock morning news. I'm Dion Anglin.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com. Did you know that ValueMed Pharmacy has a free online prescription service? Managing your health and medical requirements has never been easier with ValueMed. Simply visit value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com and click the Refill Prescriptions tab on our website. Fill in the information for new prescriptions or refills and choose your preferred pickup location. ValueMed on Walkers Road or Town. Then bring in your original prescription from your doctor when picking up. There's no need to stand in line and wait for your prescription. Save time and pick up prescriptions at your convenience by visiting value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Aye, thanks for bringing me to your favourite Cayman place for Mother's Day shopping. We're just in the door and I see jewellery, candles, Cayman paintings and lotions Mom will love.
Let me tell you something. I discovered this gym years ago and I not shop nowhere else. I shop here for everything under the sun. Gifts for all occasions and I get complimentary gift wrap too. The staff, they're so helpful and there are always new gifts, cards and local arts or prints.
Oh, Mum will love these wine glasses and I'm buying other local goodies for Pure Art to do a gift bag.
Pure Art Gallery and Gifts on South Church Street is open Monday through Saturday for gifts that last a lifetime.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Head east on Cove Road.
Sharp left on Church Street. Sharper left. No, your other left. Did I say left? No, you missed it. Okay, I'm lost.
With money-saving bundling options for home and motor, we're like a GPS that doesn't steer you wrong. CG Brit-K. Good like that.
Let's stop and ask for directions.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 82 degrees. Relative humidity is 82%. The barometric pressure is 29.95 inches and rising. The wind is out of the southeast at 7 knots. Overnight low temperature was 79 degrees. Synopsis indicate moderate easterly winds along with slight to moderate seas will continue across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours as a high-pressure system lingers over the western Atlantic Ocean. Satellite images show a few low clouds over the Cayman area moving towards the west. Now, the forecast for today and tonight is calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers, and temperatures today will reach in the mid-80s and fall to the mid-70s tonight. Winds will be east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet for today and tonight as well. We're presently at a low tide, and the next high tide will be this morning at 7 minutes past 10, and a low tide this afternoon at 4:41, with a high again at 11:55 tonight. The sun will set this evening at 6:47 and will rise tomorrow morning at 5:56. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Thursday morning.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Brit-K, where people come first.
Good morning, everyone. Hello? Hello? Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Okay, I see we have just about everyone, and of course Tom drops off, as per usual. Let's just wait a minute here. He always comes right back, and we're almost ready, and... oh, whoever's dog that is, please go on mute. Why won't it let me share my screen? Okay, looks like we're ready to start.
We're like a video conference with no technical issues. CG Brit-K. Good like that.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look at what's happening on the roads. Steady but flowing traffic on the Westway Road in front of the Ritz. Traffic is busy coming off of Bobby Thompson Way as well as off the Linford Pearson Highway on Agnes Way. Traffic heading to Georgetown on Crew Road, busy traffic. Traffic heading east on Crew Road is moving along at moderate pace. As we look to Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue, moderate flow of traffic in both directions. Into Georgetown on Shedden Road, not looking too bad, as traffic flowing pretty good. And out of Georgetown on Shedden Road, moderate flow of traffic. Schoolhouse Road is flowing nicely. There's steady traffic heading to Georgetown on Walker's Road. Coming from the Westway 4-way stop, moderate flow of traffic. Coming off the Esther Tibbetts Highway, traffic is steady but flowing. That's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock. We'll give you another traffic report. Remember, click it or ticket.
Subway is serving up a special new sauce, bursting with flavor in every bite. The new Savory Collection is a tropical sweet and spicy sauce made with a combination of spices, habanero peppers, thyme, onion, black pepper, ginger, citrus juices, and molasses.
So good. Wow. Sensational. Delicious.
Subway's Savory Collection pairs perfectly with our oven roasted chicken or steak sub. Savor the flavor. For a limited time, only at Subway. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Business Boss. Business Boss with your host, Anita Khan.
It's 14 minutes after 8 o'clock. Good morning. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. This is our second segment this morning. We have an almost full house. I'm happy when we have a full house. That means I get to talk less and listen a whole lot more. We'd like to say welcome to everybody in the studio. And And good morning, of course.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
May is International Internal Audit Awareness Month. And this morning we'll put the focus, as we promised earlier, on the importance of internal auditing. I'd like to welcome everybody in the studio and say congratulations to all the internal auditors in the Cayman Islands and around the world. And of course, those of you who are in the studio with me this morning. A noble profession indeed, and I'm pretty sure a well-paid one too.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. I like that. Now, what is the Institute of Internal Auditors, IIA Cayman chapter? What is it all about? And we want to talk a little bit about it, CIG, Internal Audit Services. Our DG is shaking his head. Good morning, Mr. Manson.
Good morning, good morning. And first of all, thank you for having us, and good morning to our listening audience. Thank you very much for having us. Yes, May is Internal Audit Month, and I'm here really to lend my support to the local chapter of Internal Audit and to commend the work of Internal Audit. Speaking from the civil service, the work of Internal Audit is absolutely essential for our good governance and the way in which we work in the civil service. I rely on them heavily to, when there are areas of concern, for them to go in and give me a unbiased report on whatever is happening in a government department or a civil service entity. The work of internal audit, I just want to make it very clear. While I could, for example, ask internal audit to go and have a look in a particular department, that's the end of my role. I don't have a say in their outcomes or what they do and how they do it. That is a matter for them. They are basically independent, and they are part of our good governance strategy. So along with the Auditor General, the Ombudsman, internal audit plays a key role in our governance across the Cayman Islands government. If you look at what has happened recently in BVI, for example, that can say right now that will not happen in Cayman because of internal audit, because of our Auditor General, because of our oversight bodies that we have in the Cayman Islands. The work of the governor and myself is to make sure that those oversight bodies are functioning properly and that their reports and recommendations are taken seriously. Because we don't want to have internal audit going in, finding mismanagement or breach of good governance, and then they make a report and nothing happens. So my job really is to champion internal audit, maybe give them some ideas as to where to look or where to go, but at the end of the day, respect their work. And I want to, commend the local chapter and all internal auditors, but give a special kudos to Ms. Lauren Knight here, who is our acting director of internal audit, and the internal audit of the Cayman Islands government, who do an absolutely brilliant job in ensuring good governance across CIG. So I am here to, again, people say bad things about auditors. I don't. I respect their work. They have a difficult job, especially in a small island like this. You know everybody. You may have to make recommendations that is very tough, very impactful. But our auditors do their jobs and do it well. And as a result of that, Cayman has the reputation that it does, not just as a government, but in the all of the entities around the island, the big companies. That is why we need to have the society here of internal auditors, and I just want to give my support to this month and big up our internal auditors.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Manson. Mr. Madison is our Deputy Governor of the Cayman Islands, and of course he's fondly referred to as a DG.
Yes.
Also in the studio, I just wanted him to have his say first.
Yes.
And in the studio we also have Ms. Lauren Knight. Lauren is, as the DG said, she is the Cayman Islands Government Acting Director of Internal Audit. Good morning.
Good
Laurie.
morning, Ms. Anita.
And we also have Mr. Neil Simpson. He's the president of the Institute of Internal Auditors, IIA, the Cayman chapter, and group head of Internal Audit, the CITCO group. Good morning.
Good morning.
And we also have Mr. James Robinson. Mr. Robinson is the vice president of the IIA Cayman chapter, and he's also over at Ernst & Young. He's a consulting. He's a manager consulting, but he just wants to be consulting this morning. So we'll leave it at that. Good morning again.
Good morning.
DJ, there was a great way to segue. May is International Internal Audit Awareness Month. Puts in the focus. When I think about an auditor, I think about someone in a finance in a huge corporation. Most people don't think about countries having auditors, internal auditors, and this is a great way to put that awareness out there.
Yes.
So the next question is, what role does internal auditing plays to strong organizational governance? You mentioned some of it, internal control and effective risk management. Who's going to take that this morning? I'm looking at James.
Yeah, sure. I will jump right in. And so good morning, everyone. So I think, with internal audit, there's 3 lines of defense. There's the first line of defense, second line of defense, and third line of defense, and which is where kind of internal audit plays their respective role. Internal controls and risk governance is very important. Kind of overall, and with kind of the role of internal audit, we step into that role. We perform a very detailed risk assessment and understanding what specific audits that we need to look at, and within those respective internal audits that we perform, we look at the respective internal controls and governance around those controls. I would say just the detailed reviews that we perform, and when an auditor is going out there and asking all these questions, we just want the best. Internal audit are, DG mentioned sometimes the bad guys, but internal audit is really the value added piece that we want to make sure anything with people, process, technology, we want to be that value added for any institution, government, you name it, to be value added for not just for the company, but island-wide as well.
But I think the main trait of an internal auditor is independence, right? And the DG mentioned independence already. We're here to report to the governors of an entity, whether that's a government entity or a commercial entity, and we provide the insight. I mean, the DG said he would ask the internal audit team to go and look at something and report back. We're kind of the eyes and ears of governors. We're independent of the organization that we audit. So we don't report to management, and we don't report to the heads of government, but we report independently, right? And that's where our objectivity comes from. In a commercial environment, internal auditors tend to report to an audit committee, and the audit committee tends to be made up of independent directors. So in that way, we maintain our independence. They set our goals and they set our objectives. They set our salary, although it's paid by management. They set all of that. So that's how we maintain our independence. And then we provide that transparency on the organization that we're auditing to the governors that employ us to do the job. So that's where our added value comes in. Sometimes those governors are one step removed from the day-to-day activities of the organization, and the link to the day-to-day activities comes with the internal auditors providing that insight.
Is that a way of spying? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
We're open spies. We don't pretend to be anything else. Everybody knows what we do. Yes. There's a charter setting out what the roles and responsibilities are of the internal auditors. So we're all above board. We all buy into what the internal audit function should do and what their responsibilities are. So it's providing insight rather than spying.
Yes.
Very good. Well DJ, do you agree with that?
Absolutely, and I absolutely agree. And we have our audit and risk committee as well, which provides the same role as the president here said. So I think I can't understate how important internal audit is in the work that they do, and make sure that we respect their work and ensure that their recommendations are taken seriously and implemented. But Ms. Lauren here, and I'm sure she wants to talk a little bit about the work that her team does. So I'll hand it over to her.
Absolutely, thank you, DG. Just to piggyback off of what Mr. Simpson was saying, the DG and Mr. Simpson mentioned objectivity and independence. I think it's important that listeners know that the IIA, the Institute of Internal Auditors, establishes or has established a code of ethics by which we are to abide. So we are held to a very, very high standard, and when we perform our audits, we have to audit to those standards. And we have to ensure, for example, that we declare conflicts of interest. So where we're going in to look at something specific, if there is a conflict, if there is a relative working in that area, or if it is subject matter that is closely related to something that we're doing or a business that we own outside of the organization, we have to declare those things. So we are absolutely above board. We're held to a very high standard. In terms of the work that we do, so DG mentioned that we have an Audit and Risk Assurance Committee, and they review our annual plan every year. So they know the standard work that we have set for the year. However, that's not to say that things can't come up during the year, and DG touched on that when he mentioned, coming to see us and asking us to look at a particular department or ministry. So there are times when we do get taken off of that annual plan to look at something that's more pressing, something that, the deputy governor or the governor needs a response on in a short period of time. And I would like to just say with that, so you have your set plan, but you have these ad hoc assignments that come up. It actually keeps things really interesting. No 2 days are the same. Another really interesting thing about internal audit, so a lot of people might think it's just a compliance function, a checkbox function. It's so much more than that. We have team members that are certified fraud examiners. I have a skill set, to investigate fraud and other types of wrongdoing. So one day you could be doing a checkbox exercise. The next day you're investigating alleged fraud or alleged bullying, harassment, and discrimination. It really keeps things interesting. I know for some people, when they hear us talk about audit, they might feel like, oh, that's boring, that's not something I want to pursue. But I wanted to insert some glamour into the profession and excitement and just let people know that it actually is very interesting work. And what keeps it interesting is that in certain scenarios, you just don't know what you're going to get for the day. Like you could come into work ready to work on something, DG calls, and there you go. You're pursuing something else. So it really keeps it interesting. And of course, you have to keep up with the changes. You have to engage in continuous education opportunities so that you develop the skill set that is required to do the various jobs that may come your way in the future.
Lauren, for someone so young, I admire you. And I'm so proud of you.
I'm glad you think I'm young, Anita.
It's 28 minutes after 8 o'clock. Good morning if you're just joining us. You're listening to the Business Buzz. This is our second and final segment of the Buzz this morning. And we have May is International Internal Audit Awareness Month. And we have all the right people in the studio to talk about this, to bring awareness. Now, this is not scripted, but why is it important for the public to be aware about internal audit? I'm looking right at Mr. Simpson.
I think sometimes we operate behind the scenes, and people sometimes also get us mixed up with external auditors. So when people refer to auditors, people assume, it's from the accounting firms or whatever. And sometimes we're so engrossed in our own work that we don't get the chance to come out and blow our own trumpet. But this morning, hopefully, is a little bit different. Okay. It's important for people to understand how governance works, and we form part of that governance structure. They ought to know that internal audit contributes to good governance, whether that's in a commercial environment or a public sector environment. And there are also opportunities for people to get involved in internal audit as an internal auditor or as a governor having a relationship with internal audit. People in the public can take comfort from the fact that internal audit is in place in certain government arenas and in commercial arenas, and get comfort from the fact that good governance is happening because of the internal audit function. If there was no internal audit function, then you don't have that transparency as to what is happening behind the scenes. So really people should be very thankful when they hear of internal auditors coming in to do their work, that good governance is being supported in that way.
I'm pretty sure some people go, oh, not again, not those guys. Oh my gosh, my whole week is going to be disrupted because they'll want to have this and they'll want to have that. I have to provide this. But like you say, all for the cause of transparency. We're going to take a quick, Mr. Simpson, you want to, before we take that break?
Yeah, I was going to say, well, we do get involved in all aspects of the business and of organisations. We're not just focused on finance or compliance or regulation. We look at all aspects, IT, governance, potential frauds, buildings and insurance and all kinds of all aspects of the business based on risk. And maybe we'll talk about risk after the break as well.
Okay, Susan, we're going to take that break. Thanks to our sponsors this morning, Cayman Insurance Center and Cayman Medical Supplies.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
And for 45 years, we have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
The Health Services Authority's new pharmacy is now open at the Smith Road Medical Center. The new location features a large, comfortable waiting area and ticketing system to improve the patient experience. All uncollected prescriptions and refill requests previously submitted will now be available for collection at the Smith Road Pharmacy. Request your refills online at hsa.ky via WhatsApp 925-6532 or call 244-2715. For more information about our pharmacy hours, visit hsa.ky.
Beyond Basics Medical Laser and Skincare is offering an incredible 30% off services in celebration of mamas. Visit beyondbasics.ky to shop online and save by using our promo code BBMAMA. Unwanted body hair and ingrowns? Experience laser hair removal from beyondbasics.ky. Scarring, fine lines, loose skin, and enlarged pores? Then experience microneedling, body slimming, and contouring from beyondbasics.ky. Dull, dry, and uneven skin tone? Experience the hydrofacial and peels from beyondbasics.ky. Give Mama the lifestyle of confidence and beauty transformations that will create significant change she will love forever. Shop with instant, easy pay online at beyondbasics.ky this Friday and Saturday only and enjoy 30% off services with the promo code BBMAMA.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
Heading up to 9 o'clock on the Business Buzz. I want to say good morning again to my guests in the studio. We have Mr. Franz Mandison, Deputy Governor of the Cayman Islands, fondly referred to as DG all the time. We have Miss Lauren Knight. Lauren is Cayman Islands Government Acting Director of Internal Audit. Mr. Neil Simpson, he's the President of the Institute of Internal Auditors, IIA, Cayman Chapter, and he's also Group Head of Internal Audit, the CITCO Group. And Mr. James Robinson, he is the Vice President of the Cayman Chapter, IIA, and he's also a consulting manager over at Ernst & Young. Good morning again, everybody. Glad you didn't walk out of the studio and leave me by myself.
Yes. We got you. We got you.
You got me. I like that. No, this is a question. I saw this and I'm like, yes, I want to know. Now, we all know by now what internal auditors do. Have at least a a vague idea. Now, how do internal and external auditors differ, and how should they relate?
Sure, so I can jump in. So we mentioned earlier about kind of the internal audit and adding kind of value, and then there's the external aspect of it. I think that before going to the difference, the common factor that internal and external look at is it's called internal controls over financial reporting. That is the common theme that we look at. But the internal auditor and external audit, when they're looking at internal controls over financial reporting, are working together to make sure that they have the aligned strategy and making sure that they come consistent at the end of the day related to the end of the financial statement audit report. For both independent parties as well. For kind of the internal audit aspect of it, I think the difference from the internal and external piece of, we can look at kind of anything, anything from people, process, technology that I mentioned before, and then external is focused kind of on the financials aspect of it that they're looking at. And so for internal audit, a lot of people are like, why do auditing and why do internal auditing? Like Lauren mentioned earlier, you can look at anything, and which I love about, and your day does change every day.
Can I chime in
Absolutely.
here? One of the ways that I like to explain it, Miss Anita, is that the work of internal audit actually helps when it comes time for the external audit. So when we look at certain things, for example, if we do a financial audit and we look at controls within the finance section, if we find those controls to be sound and operating effectively, typically that means that when the external auditors come in and audit the financial statements, usually it means it'll end with what we call a clean audit opinion. So we look at the internal controls, the mechanisms that management has put in place to make sure that things work as they should. That's the simplest explanation. If we find that those things are working as they should, typically when the external auditors come in, it's smooth sailing for them. Certainly with the internal audit service for the CIG, we have an MOU with the Auditor General. So we will have discussions, we share reports. So the Auditor General will have some idea before her team goes in to look at the financial statements of the various ministries. She will have some idea of things that we may have found or concerns that we may have flagged previously, or certainly where we've made recommendations, where those recommendations have been implemented, and that helps to guide her work. And the opposite is also true. Sometimes we will look to the Auditor General's reports to help us in our risk assessment determine which areas require more attention. So the two work well together, but to James's point, our scope is much broader than the Auditor General, who is our external auditor. Our scope is broader because we don't only look at finance, we look at operational things, we look at compliance matters, governance matters. So it's a very, very broad scope for internal audit.
Yeah, I think you may have heard the term risk-based auditing before, and that's where internal audit comes in. We look at risks, and if you take a step back from risks, you go back to objectives. So we're here as internal auditors to ensure, or to help the governors ensure that the objectives of the organisation are reached. And how do we do that? Well, we look to make sure that the risks to those objectives are properly controlled and managed. Now, the difference between internal audit and external audit is that external audit tend to look at the financial statement process and the risks around the financial statement process. Internal audit look at all aspects of the business, whether it's governance, compliance, financial, IT, operational processing, etc. And we look at all of the risks presented by the day-to-day business to make sure that all of those areas are being properly controlled and managed, and then we report back. In some cases, the external auditors are interested in the results, particularly where our focus is financial. or compliance or regulatory, because they have to report to regulators as well. So that's where we really come together. But there's lots of other areas where we will spend a lot of time where the external auditors will say, you know what, that's not relevant to the financial statement production, so we don't need to get involved in that. So that's where our area of expertise is much broader than just financial.
So at no time at all there is any kind of redundancy.
You would hope not. You get together with the external auditors before it all starts, and you plan out, and they want to know what your plan is. You want to know what their plan is. In many cases, you both report to the audit committee of the organisation. So you have the same boss, if you like, and they help in the coordination between the two parties.
Right. So it's a little different
in the civil service.
In the civil service.
Yes.
So the internal audit service, we report to the Audit and Risk Assurance Committee, whereas the Auditor General reports to the Public Accounts Committee. Yeah. So that is a distinction within the civil service.
Yeah. But it works well, and they're complementary, and they work well together. The Auditor General in Cayman, as was said earlier, they focus on some of the financial aspects. You hear the Auditor General talking about doing value for money audits and quality assurance and those different things. While the internal auditors get a wide breadth of things that they can do and should be allowed to do if the organization is going to perform at the highest level. It's a great team effort. And when everything is working perfectly, then the entire the corporation, the company, the organization works very well. And then the public can see, for the civil service and the public service, the public can see exactly how their money is being spent. And when there are issues, so for example, if we see that there has been a theft in a government department, rather than just dealing with that individual, which we have to, we will also ask internal audit to have a look. How did this happen? Are there internal controls there to avoid this happening again? So, we want to make sure there are lessons learned and how we can do things better. I always say that, in the civil service, we don't sort of bury our heads in the sand and hope that the problem goes away. If we get it wrong, we will say so, and then make sure that we fix the issue. And that's internal audit plays a key role in that.
Okay. DG, I know we have to let you go because you have to leave. Anything you'd like to tell us about this morning? Yeah,
if you'd asked me a few years ago, maybe I wouldn't be saying this, but I just want to congratulate our internal auditors, for all the work that they do. I having now been deputy governor for 10 years, I now keenly understand the important role that they play. In governance, in risk management, in making sure that things are done properly, and that there is value for money, that the public know how their money is being spent, and that we are not wasting the people's money. So congratulations to everyone. I'm so happy that we are able to shine a light on a profession that really is behind the scenes, but they do some really great work from behind the scenes, and I think it's time for us to give them a bit of praise. So. For those in the private sector, I congratulate you, all the work that you do in there, and then of course Ms. Lauren and her team. Congratulations again, and it's a pleasure to work with our internal auditors. They hold us to account, and we should value that and appreciate that. So my congratulations to all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, DG. And it makes me want to change profession as we speak. Am I in the wrong profession?
No, you're not.
I love what you do. DG, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me. And I have to run off. We have an early cabinet meeting, so please excuse me.
Well, good luck. And thanks for coming in and putting the spotlight on May is International Internal Audit Awareness Month. Thank you, DG. We're going to take that break soon. And when we come back, we'll continue our discussion.
Oh gosh.
Don't let the stress of taking care of loved ones get you down.
Home care, now made easier with Cayman Medical Supplies. 100% Caymanian owned. Cayman Medical Supplies now stocks a wide range of home care supplies, hospital beds, all types of wheelchairs, including beach access wheelchairs, lifts, commodes, shower chairs, walkers, Curad brand orthopedic supplies, free blood glucose monitors with the purchase of 1 pack of test strips, blue underpads, and a whole lot more.
Need home care convenience? Drop by Cayman Medical Supplies at 93 Smith Road, Windward Center, or call 949-6211. Free delivery.
Open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Still delivering island-wide for your convenience.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Can I send a request, please?
You don't really have to ask us. Just send a request.
This is a shout out to my ex.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Radio Cayman News.
The man rescued while floating amongst several packages in the North Sound on Friday has been charged with illegal landing and importation of ganja.
An accidental data breach uncovers a number of suspected fraud cases.
Minister for Tourism and the delegation are attending the annual Sea Trade Cruise Global Conference in Florida.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
Country classics.
Well, I was born to coal miner's daughter.
On the road again. They're gonna put me in the movies.
Papa Top again.
Out in the West Texas town of El Paso. Because you're mine, I walk the line. Well, I love the
country classics.
Young love, first love.
You never count your money when you're sitting at the table.
If you enjoy classic country music, come hang out with Radio Cayman this Saturday, 3:30 to 6 p.m.
In the Mississippi cotton picking Delta town.
This Saturday afternoon, following American Country Countdown, 3:30 to 6 on Radio Cayman.
Just walk on by. Wait on the corner.
Country classics.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz. Thanks to our sponsors of the Buzz this morning, Cayman Insurance Center and Cayman Medical Supplies. The deputy governor just left the studio, so remaining with me this morning is Miss Lauren Knight. Lauren is the Cayman Islands Government Acting Director of Internal Audit. We also have Mr. Neil Simpson. Mr. Simpson, hope I'm pronouncing your first name right. It's right. Okay. He's the president of the Institute of Internal Auditors, IIA. We've been saying that all morning. And, of course, the Cayman chapter. He's also the group head of Internal Audit, the CITCO group. And we have Mr. James Robinson. He's the vice president of the IIA Cayman chapter. And he's also over at Ernst & Young, and he's a consulting manager. Good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure having you all in here. And as you know, we just learned from the time they came in, May is International Internal Audit Awareness Month. And during this time, the Institute of Internal Auditors, IIA, they encourage members, chapters, and institutes around the world to promote the value and critical role of internal auditors. I had no idea they were so critical, as I've learned this morning. So now I know. Huge respect.
Yes.
And I really appreciate the work that you do, whether it's for government or private sector or whatever organization. Now, let's talk a little bit about the Institute of Internal Auditors, IIA, Cayman chapter. Who's going to tell me all about this?
I'm happy to start in.
Thank you, James.
Yeah, no worries. So I think just jumping kind of right in, first of all, I want to thank, first Niall, the president, and being able to partner with him, but also the committee and all the officers that are kind of listening and that I've worked very deeply with. Is a lot of hard work in the background that goes related to this. But the IIA Institute of Internal Auditors Cayman chapter we have over 53 members and looking every day to grow. So if anybody is interested, definitely look at our social media, but also reach out to Niall or anybody in this room. We're happy to kind of get you signed up and give you an introduction of what the IA chapter does. But the IA chapter here, what we specifically do is we promote kind of the internal audit, but we also promote opportunities, job opportunities. We promote opportunities for young Caymanians or any young professional in general. There are a lot of opportunities. I can't tell you how many emails that I get from somebody saying, hey, can you promote this internal audit opportunity at this company or X or Y? So there are a lot of opportunities. This month, currently what we're doing for Internal Audit Awareness Month, today is a kickoff. This is the most that we've probably ever done in our chapter, which I'm very excited about.
Well, I'm happy to be doing this. Susan? Yeah, we're the boss.
Yes. And I hope this isn't the last time either. We want this a recurring thing in the day for going forward. So, kicking off with the Radio Cayman and explaining the importance of it. I did not realize the importance of radio as well. I always knew the importance of radio, but in Cayman, it's even more.
Comment on that, James.
It's even more important because you think about all those Japanese cars, and the only station that you can listen to is 89.9. I have a Japanese car, and I was like, that's so true. I wish I was listening to my own self today because it would be so cool. But kicking off with kind of the radio, and then we will be hosting a training over environmental, social, and governance, ESG, which is a big buzzword that a lot of people are talking about. And last but not least, which Miss Lauren will be one of our panelists, and then we also have another panelist from SEMA as well, but we will be having a young professionals roundtable talking about hot topics related to internal audit, related to digital auditing, to the people development side of it and what different departments are doing, and sharing ideas as well. So that's a very exciting opportunity that we will be hosting, and I'm really excited. It's our first roundtable that we'll be hosting as well, so I'm very excited related to this opportunity. But there are, again, a lot of opportunities related to young professionals and young Caymanians. And the best part is, as a millennial myself, like, it always changes every day. So that's what I love. And great opportunities. Yeah.
But we're also cooperating with other chapters in the Caribbean. We're not the only country that is celebrating International Internal Audit Awareness. We do work relatively closely with other chapters in the Caribbean, and on the 19th of May, we're putting on an ethics forum that Lauren referred to earlier on. She was talking about ethics standards, etc. So we're running together with the other Caribbean chapters, an ethics forum to discuss our ethical standards and how we comply with those and what the expectations are. And that's free to all members in the Caribbean.
Okay. Well, congratulations, Lauren. Lauren, are we able to see this on YouTube at some point?
The roundtable? That's a question for James.
That's a great idea that we can consider for sure.
Are you going to implement that recommendation, James?
I might have to.
I think you should.
Let me get my management response.
Can somebody pay me extra for that comment?
Just kidding. We'll look into it.
We need a good moderator. We might need to steal you. Like.
Yeah.
No, we'll take our producer, Miss Susan Watson. Good morning, Susan. I forgot to say good morning. No, James, you just alluded to opportunities for Caymanians. Now, what are some of the opportunities in regards to internal auditing are there for Caymanians?
I would love to answer this question.
Thank you.
So first things first, Niall shared a very staggering statistic a moment ago when he said that there are only 250,000 internal auditors in the world. This is a world of 8 billion people, and there are only 250,000 internal auditors. So certainly there are not a lot of us. We are unicorns. It is a great profession, but I do believe that one of the issues that we struggle with is lack of awareness. I think a lot of people do not know about internal audit or are unable to differentiate between internal and external audit. And because they don't know about it, it's very difficult for them then to, develop an interest in it because it's unknown to them. The beautiful thing about internal audit is that there are a lot of different career paths and degrees that can lead you into a career in internal audit. Obviously, a degree in accounting, business administration, finance, IT. So there are a wide range of degrees that can lead you into this profession.
How about compliance?
Absolutely. That would work beautifully. Once you're in, then it's just a matter of getting professional certifications that train you up in the exact skill set that you need to be able to conduct audits. So there's a certified internal auditor exam, CIA for short. There is CGAP, certified government auditing professional. I won't bore you to tears with, naming them all, but there are a number of different ones. I feel that, with those degrees, and certainly if you start off with a foundation in internal auditing, the world kind of becomes your oyster. It's a great place to start because you learn so much about the business by doing those audits and by looking at all of those different areas. You basically become an expert, or you have the potential to become an expert in all of those areas. Even my own story, my career within the civil service. I started off in internal audit. I've moved over to the portfolio of the civil service where I've done work in governance and policy work. And there are a number of different career paths that I can travel now if I so choose. So I think it's a great launching pad. It's a great place to gain experience. The door is pretty much wide open in terms of the degrees that you can get, to gain entry into to internal audit. So I think it just makes sense. It's certainly something that should be considered. It is not a place where you go and become stagnant and have to remain. If you play your cards right, it can launch your career to the highest heights.
I love that.
So Caymanians, consider it, apply. We'd love to have you on board.
Yeah. And Lauren is our acting director of internal audit. How long you've been in that position, Lauren?
Well, my story is a bit tricky. So I started with the civil service as the manager of internal audit in 2014. I stayed on. I was promoted to deputy director. I did a secondment, an 18-month secondment with the Government Internal Audit Agency in the UK. And the plan was to come back and, be put on a succession plan and take over as Director of Internal Audit. But I was offered a second secondment before I went back to Internal Audit, and that was with the portfolio of the Civil Service. And long story short, my working relationship with the Chief Officer over there is one that is so amazing that I found it extremely difficult to walk away from her. So I decided to stay on with her. So my substantive post is actually the Deputy Chief Officer of the portfolio of the Civil Service. I am on secondment again momentarily as Acting Director of Internal Audit while we go through the recruitment process to find a permanent director. So there's an example of how you can shift tracks and go down different career paths, once you have that solid foundation in internal audit. But yes, I'm only with internal audit until we find a director, and then back over to POCS as Deputy Chief Officer.
Yeah, we spoke about independence and the need for independence and objectivity earlier on. The other requirement is flexibility. Mm-hmm. And you can hear from Lauren that she's had to be flexible because these opportunities keep cropping up and the world keeps changing. And internal auditors need to adapt and remain flexible. Mm-hmm. So that's a major trait of an internal auditor
flexible
as well.
And adaptable.
Adaptable.
And I think you're doing a great job, Lauren.
Thank you.
Great job. Now, going back to how many members the Cayman chapter of IIA, we have 53 members locally.
That's correct.
Okay. Now, Neil, you're the president of the Cayman chapter.
Yes.
What made you decide to have a chapter here?
Well, we're here to represent the profession as a whole and to provide support for local internal auditors. So we're looking to provide education and a social outlet also for internal auditors. Sometimes internal auditing can be a lonely environment, particularly if you're in a very small team or you might only be a one-person outfit. So having a chapter and the ability to meet up with other internal auditors and to liaise with them and share experiences is what the chapter is here for. We're also here to direct them toward the certifications that are available through the IIA and get them qualified in internal auditing and get them recognised as having that certification. We are only a small team at the moment. We are looking to expand that because there are more and more people who are interested in internal auditing, and because of the need for better governance, the need for internal auditing and internal auditors is increasing all the time.
And it sounds quite exciting to me, especially when Lauren puts it the way she does. No, our time is limited. I'm sorry, guys. I wish we can roll out another hour for you, along with the red carpet, but we have to make way for the news at 9, which is in about another 20-something seconds. So can we wrap up? Just let our listeners and our viewers know about the Awareness Month. Just wrap things up for us.
So yeah, basically it's just to shine light on the profession. Obviously you would have heard today that we do a lot of meaningful and good work that, provides assurance to the board of directors, the Audit and Risk Assurance Committee, essentially just saying that the business is operating as it should, and where it isn't, we make recommendations for improvement.
Okay. James?
Just wanted to say thank you. And I mean, I can't second what Lauren said more, but just really thank you for the opportunity for allowing us to speak about kind of May and the Internal Audit Awareness Month and making the opportunity available for other young Caymanians and young professionals.
And thank you for all that information. Neil, this morning?
And there is more information available if people want to Google the IIA Cayman chapter. They'll be brought through to a website which will explain more about the profession and the chapter and what we do.
And I have a whole bunch of questions left that I didn't ask. But maybe there's another day.
Part two.
Thank you so much. I want to say thanks to, we just heard Lauren there, Miss Lauren Knight. Lauren is CIG Acting Director of Internal Audit for right now, because she's want to go audit places. We had in the studio earlier Mr. Franz Madison, Deputy Governor of the Cayman Islands, but he had to go to a cabinet meeting. I want to thank him for his input this morning. We have Mr. Neil Simpson, President of the Institute of Internal Auditors, IIA, and of course the Cayman chapter, and he's also Group Head of Internal Audit, the Silk Group, and Mr. James Robinson with the radio voice, Vice President of IIA Cayman chapter, and he's over Ernst & Young as a manager consulting. Thank you so much for being in the studio.
Thank you for having us
this morning.
Thank you so much.
And those unanswered questions are going to be singing in my brain tonight. I want to say thanks to our producer.
Send us an email.
Thanks to our producer, Miss Susan Watson, who does a phenomenal job. I'm only the mouthpiece for the business buzz. Thanks to all our listeners, our YouTube viewers, and of course, Susan. Want to say thank you until Thursday, May 5th, when we bring you another business buzz. In the meantime, please stay safe. Have a wonderful day. From me, your host, Anita Can.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies. Call them at 949-6211. And Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services.
Radio Cayman, the voice.